So, hello. Good morning. Ah, lovely. Lovely to see all these lovely faces in front of me so early. We'll see if this works without a microphone. If it doesn't, I'll just grab a microphone, yeah? But we can do that because this is just a talk, yeah? This is just a nice, relaxing talk. It's not a lecture. You know, when you say lecture, you think of like everything in wood, yeah? Everything's in wood, highly polished. There's a stage, a lectern with an eagle. Yeah, there are all these mostly men, old men sitting there with their pince-nez and their suits, with their cravats. And there states the lecturer, you know. Good morning, my name is Dr. Frankenstein. This morning I will demonstrate the reanimation of life. Yeah, bit stiff, but a talk, nice and relaxed. I had a teacher who was like that at school. He wasn't like a normal lesson. We were allowed to call him Brian. Brian would sit on the edge of the desk like this. Wasn't a lesson, wasn't a lecture, just like relaxed, talking to us. He was open, he was so friendly. We hated him. No, we like Mr. Davis, the biology teacher. This morning I will demonstrate the animation of life. We thought he was great. So this is going to be just a little talk. It's going to be a bit random. It's going to be very random. And I'll tell you another reason why. You see, my name's Mark Britton. I've lived here for 20 years. I'm with my German wife here, my 2 kids. And I think that creative writing has invited the wrong Mark Britton. Okay, I explain it to you. I suspected this when I came. The first thing someone said to me was, pardon?
I can't understand you. Can you speak a little bit louder, please?
Pardon? Sure, that's why I thought we might need the microphone. Shall we take the microphone? How's that? Better? Oh. Always technically gifted, even as a child. Yes. Okay. So, how are we now? Better? Much better? Good. Great. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, yes, I know. Yes. So, I'm not sure if I'm the Mr. Mark Britton, the right one. Because I'm, you know, as I said, I live here 20 years. I get here. And the first thing someone says to me is like, you don't have an American accent. I went, no, a bit strange. The next thing someone says is, how was your flight? Well, I live in North Cologne. It's about 1 kilometre away. So the answer's very short. I would have to jump out of the aeroplane before it took off. So I'm very suspicious. Then the absolute humdinger was the third person who said, it must be fascinating being the professor of philosophy and morals at Harvard University. That was my reaction. Huh? And I knew something was wrong. Something was very wrong. I've never been the professor of morals and philosophy at Harvard University. Yeah? So, what do you do? I mean, what do you do? And I just sort of nodded. Yeah, it is very fascinating. Yeah, and I was here at Creative Mornings because I thought, it's a chat show. I'll sit down, bit of chat. Yeah. And I thought it'd be the usual thing. Yeah, Mr. Britton, you're a comedian in Germany for 20 years. What's that? It's like being a mountaineer living in Holland. Yeah, ha ha ha. Yeah, the usual thing. So I thought. And when someone said to me, we're looking forward to the lecture, Hilfe, yeah? So I did what anyone does in that situation, yeah? Run to the toilet and I Google like my fucking life depends on it. Okay? And so I have found out a few things about context. So when you're listening to this talk, keep that in mind. Keep that in context. I'm making it up as I go along. Okay, right. So I'm in the toilet and I'm Googling. I found out a few things about context. Context, together, text, weaving. Weaving, that's strange, I thought. But I always thought weaving was a bit intellectual. Had something intellectual, weaving, doesn't it? I mean, weaving's a lot more intellectual than sewing. It's a lot more, yeah? And knitting, I mean, knitting's just for idiots, isn't it? I mean, anyone can knit. You know, what are you doing? Oh, I'm weaving. Oh, are you just weaving? No, I'm putting things in context. I'm weaving context into this tapestry. What are you doing? I'm knitting a pair of socks. Ha! I'm weaving the bio-tapestry. Bit of context in there. They're lovely, yeah. It's a bit intellectual context, yeah. Bit intellectual. Weaving a bit of context in there. Yeah. So, if I'm reading a bit of context, what's the definition? Well, I was in there Googling, and I found the definition, right? Here's the definition. Don't forget to tell them about the naked man on the beach. Well, that's later, sorry. That's a bit later. Definition. A set of circumstances that surround a particular event or situation. That's context. But I think what it is, it's a set of circumstances that changes the reality. And the question is, how can we get in tune with this new reality? Huh? And so I come to the naked man on the beach. Last year, I was on holiday in the Canary Islands. I'm walking along the beach. It's a lovely, beautiful day. And I suddenly noticed everyone's naked. Now, I'm feeling very out of context. Where's my context here? Because I realize, it's a nudist beach. Or as they say in German, a Freikörperkultur. Yeah, a Freikörperkultur, for people who don't speak German, it's a bit like what you find in a Petri dish. But in Germany, it means, let it hang out, let it swing. Now, I want to be in context, so what do? I take off my swimming trunks. Okay, I'm now in context. That is good. Walking along, I'm feeling good with everyone else. It's not embarrassing. We're all naked. Yeah. Get to the end of the beach. End of the beach, there are some rocks. Clamber over the rocks. I'm still naked. I'm thinking, I'm not in context anymore. I'm not a man on a nudist beach. I'm just this naked man hanging around the rocks. This is a different context. So of course, I put my swimming trunks back on. And I carry on around the rocks. There's a little inlet, a little bit of sand. And boom, suddenly, from behind a rock, there is a naked man. Different context. We're not on a nudist beach. We're two men alone between some rocks on a bit of sand. One is naked, the other one's with his swimming trunks going. In this new context, thinking what to do. Well, I suppose I could do the same strategy as in the last context. Just take them off. There we go. But no, it's a different context. If I take them off, it's like an invitation. I'm not joining in. I'm going too far. Good. So if I don't take them off, keep them on. But now it's very awkward. He's got his off, I've got mine on. Okay, so I think, well, I'll just walk past and sort of do that thing you do, when it's very embarrassing. You don't do that. Don't do that. Look him in the eyes, okay? Just look him in the eyes. This is normal, I'm okay. That's how you can cope with context. Yeah? Be relaxed, ignore the fucking context. That can be the best solution. That's what I'm going to do. Walking towards him, when suddenly I know this man. I know this man. New context. I can't just walk past him, go, yeah, because I know he'll think, he's ignoring me because I'm naked. He's not talking to me because of the size of my penis. Embarrassing, difficult context. I'm going to have to say, hello. Embarrassing, right? But, yes, exactly. One of these, hello. How are you? Yeah, that moment, yeah. So I'm going I recognize him, but then, okay, this gets even stranger. 2 weeks before, this man had his finger in my bottom. Different fucking concept. But let me set that in concept, because a lot of you are looking very worried. I saw that in his bottom. Yeah. Did he say that bottom? Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Now, let's put this in context. Context is important. We're not in the toilet of a nightclub. Forget that context. Okay? We're not in the office of a Hollywood movie producer. That's another context. That's called casting. No. No. This is Dr. Schickelgruber, and I have gone to him to have my prostate examined. Another context. I see you all relax immediately. Thank God for that. We thought he was fucking weird, a pervert. No. It's like, that's okay. We're all comfortable. The context is clear, yeah? It was for me as well. I thought, I'm not embarrassed. He's naked. I've got my swimming trunks on. Come, if he'd been much more intimate than this, I'll just go up to him and sort of say a joke, yeah? So I walk up to him and I say, bend over you. Now it's my turn to tickle your prostrate, yeah? It's okay, we're in context. Then I realized this isn't Dr. Schickelgruber. I've never seen this man in my life. New context. In fact, it's not a new context. The context has gone, "Ah!" and thrown itself out of the window and is smashed to pieces on the floor. Because context is everything. Context is everything. You have to be in sync with your context. Then you're comfortable. We're all comfortable now. Okay, he's a stand-up comedian, he's in Germany. I know, okay, this is a bit weird, but it's okay. We're in context. Being out of context, out of sync with your context, fucking nightmare. Okay, I was once invited to a party. I was very excited. I had my Batman costume all ready. The mask, the ears, the cape. I'm going to my party, my fancy dress party. You can see this coming, can't you, yeah? Ding dong, the door's open. It's not a fancy dress party. Radical change of context. I'm in a completely different context now. I was going to be star of the party, yeah? Dong diddle dong 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 diddle dong. Now I'm not. I'm a fucking idiot dressed there with a black mask, ears, and a cape. And everyone going, why are you dressed like that? Okay. But I had to put it in context all the time. Yeah, I thought it was a fancy dress party. Yeah, and we'd go on. And I thought, I'm sure I can solve this. I can get into the right context. I'll take the costume off. Go to the toilet, pop, 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 like Batman himself, and I come out. I've taken everything off. I've just got black leotards and a black t-shirt. I'm not in context. I don't look like Batman. I look like an overweight, unemployed ballet dancer. And that's even more difficult to put into concept, into context. Even more difficult. Because context, as I said, is everything in our lives. Evolution is just about context. We're in Africa, Homo sapiens, and we said, let's go. Had enough of it around here, let's go north. So some of us went north, some of us went south. Climate was a context. Those who went north built log cabins. They followed the Protestant ethic. They roasted hedgehogs and they burnt witches. That was life in the north. In the south, it was hot. They lay on hammocks and they ate mangoes. Each one in harmony with his context. I mean, you couldn't change the concept. I mean, you couldn't try and eat a mango, up in Alaska. It would freeze. And I'm burning witches in the south. I mean, you're standing there, boy, it's so bloody hot. God, geez, how long is it going to take for this bloody witch to... Yip. We'll take that out of the editing, shall we? Good. Boy, it's really hot. I'm really sweating here. How long is it going to take this witch to burn? Yeah? Boy, it's about bloody time, isn't it? Everything was based on context. What we did was we said, right, let's set the world in context. Gatherers, hunters. Okay, girls, you go and gather. Oh, no, I want to be a hunter. No, and you have to wait 20,000 years for that, I'm afraid. No? I'm afraid I have to wait for that. You're out of context again. No? You're not going to hunt any mammoths. You're a girl. Go and gather. Okay, boys, let's go and hunt some mammoths. Yeah? We're going to hunt some mammoths. Okay, we had to get the concept right. Yeah? Gathering berries, hunting mammoths. If you try and hunt berries, it won't work, okay? Get the fucker when it moves. Just stay here until that bush moves, okay? No one will move. Or you can't gather mammoths, can you? Come on, this way, here we go. All the mammoths, let's gather them in. Let's gather the mammoths in. Here we go, we're all going home now, yeah? So, yes, so there are the girls, very sexist, collecting berries and stuff, yeah? Doing their bit. And there are the men. Now, there's Munga, Wunga, and Bunga. Munga, Wunga, and Bunga are going to get a mammoth. And everyone says, okay, Munga, Bunga, Wunga, each of you go and get a mammoth. Yeah. And each one tries to get a mammoth on his own. See, context wrong. We're not super strong, we're not super fast, but we're really good at working in a group. So they come back, And Munga and Wonga and Ponga, well, Ponga's not there, he's been trampled to death by a mammoth, but Wonga and Ponga are there, and they go, right, let's get one mammoth together. Good idea, okay. There's a mammoth. Thump. Throw the spears, mammoth dead. Great, we're a group. And so it started. Context got really, really important. Context was about groups. Context was about culture. And what's fascinating is, in a culture, behavior is acceptable in one culture, totally unacceptable in another culture. Context is culture dependent. I'm eating noodles. I'm eating noodles and I'm going... Now, in Japan, that's very good manners. Very good. If I'm in Italy, with my fettuccine al giuliani, that's very bad manners. Everyone's upset. If I'm in Japan, I go, good manners. If I'm in Italy with my fettuccine al giuliani, and I'm like, bad manners. But if in Italy I go, achoo, oh God, sorry about that, bit of a cold, yeah? No big deal, no bad manners. In Japan, yeah? Achoo, yeah? Bad manners, completely culturally dependent. What I found out is the really weird one's tipping. Tipping is culturally sort of dependent. It's based on context, but you never know what's the right thing to do. In England, we tip very, very little. When we do, it's like, you know, here, 5 cents, yeah, thank you, yeah? And I went to America. First time in America, in a hotel room. The guy's brought my bags up, there we go. And he says, is there anything else, sir? And I'm going, no, got my bags. I'm here, nice view, lovely, thank you. Can I help you in any way, sir? No, really, I'm fine, I'm great, thank you, yeah. Son of a bitch. Goes out, what have I done? I've upset this guy here. Yeah? See, tipping is very context dependent. In our own society, here in Germany, yeah? You can tip some people, not on others, you know. Let's say Dr. Schuckelgruber. Dr. Schuckelgruber's there. My prostrate, everything was fantastic, thank you, here. Have 50 euros, there we go. Enjoy yourself. It's a doctor. We wouldn't dream of doing that. Never. In another profession, a taxi driver in London, yeah, try getting out of the taxi without paying a tip. It will never work. You lock the bloody doors. They lock the doors. Have you got a tip for me? Yeah, please. Policeman. Here it'd be very dangerous to go up to a policeman and go, wonderful job you're doing. Wonderful. What's the time? Oh, 10 o'clock, thank you. Here's 50 euro. Yeah? In another society, you have to give the policeman a tip, or you're in big fucking trouble. They live from those tips. So it's all dependent. Absolutely. Another example, tipping, as well as tipping. This one here, gestures we make, completely based on the context of culture. Okay, good, positive. Yeah? In some countries, fuck you is a huge insult. So there I am in Japan. When I was working in Japan, I went up to someone thinking I was being a wonderful human being. I said, there you go. There's 500 yen. Yeah? Big mistake, because in Japan, giving a tip is a huge insult. Huge insult. No matter how helpful someone's been. If you go up to someone in Japan and go, there you go. They go, what are you doing? You're giving me a little piece of, ugh. What's that for an insult? Stop insulting me. I want a little bit of change, thank you very much. No. So in Japan, there I am, thinking I'm being, you know, very polite, working within my context, in the wrong context. There you go, I say. First I insult him by giving him some money, and then I go, fuck you. Okay? All depends on what culture you're actually talking about. Because even in our own culture, we're adapting to situations all the time. What's the context? How should I behave here? How should I behave there? Even if it's the same thing you're doing. Saying goodbye. Bye. I'm not going to see this person for another year. Another year I won't see them. I don't go, bye. I go, bye. Yeah? I say goodbye to a friend. Bye. I say goodbye, I remember it very well, to the parents of my wife for the first time. Well, it's been very nice to meet you. Yeah? Who'd you say goodbye to like this? Imagine, I'm saying goodbye to you, okay? Who'd you say goodbye to like this? Yeah? It's not my mother-in-law. No, the Queen. If you said goodbye to someone else, another context, just anyone else. For instance, if I was say goodbye to Nadia, for instance. That was very nice on the show today. It was lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you. When am I going to leave this fucking room? Thank you. Yeah? We're always trying to adapt. What's the situation? What's the context for our behavior? And we use it also to explain behavior when something's not clear. Why is that man running around the marketplace completely naked, except for his socks going, "Way!" completely drunk? It's his birthday. Of course. Yeah? Explained. Context, no problem, yeah? George is sitting at the table. George has a plastic cup in his hand, is going bang, bang, bang on the table and going, hey. Totally unacceptable. But George is 3 years old. Context. Okay. George is sitting at the table, plastic cup. George is 35 years old. Different concept. Different context. But when George gets to be 75, it's perfectly okay again. It just all depends on the context. Context is responsible for everything that we're doing. But we also, I must say, we have a tendency to misuse context. Become a trick, you see. Politicians are brilliant at it, yeah. Hear them on the radio, it's fantastic, they're brilliant. They're creative geniuses when it comes to context, yeah. Minister, can you please explain the rise in unemployment and the inflation figures? Yes, well, of course. Well, because of the volcano activity in Venezuela and the rising oceans in the southern Atlantic, and of course, because less people are going to be buying houses now that they are looking after their hedgehogs in apartments, because of this reason, we are expecting unemployment to fall. Exactly. None of us know what he's talking about. He's given context that doesn't exist. That we think, oh, that's why, okay. The volcanoes in Venezuela, that's why I haven't got a job. Of course, I understand now. Yeah, that's why it was just unclear before, but now I've got it straight. I've got the context right, yeah? I see, because of the death of kangaroos in boating accidents in Australia, yeah, the pound has gone down in value. Got it. Good. At last, I understand the world, yeah? The best is politicians using context to explain sex scandal. Fantastic. There was one a few years ago, right? This is very topical, right? I know. But there's one a few years ago where a conservative politician was found. I shouldn't laugh, but it is funny. He was found lying on his dining room table, wearing only a pair of stockings, with an orange in his mouth and a plastic bag over his head. And he had died, poor man. Terrible. This has to be put in context, yeah? And the context was he had some problems in his marriage. I mean, I don't know how that could explain that at all, you know, but somehow it explained the whole thing. He had problems in his, well, you have a problem in your marriage, that's what you do. You get an orange stick on you, get a plastic bag, lie on a table and die. That's, get things into context, yeah. Phew, I know why I'm doing this. I've got a problem with my marriage. Yeah, great. And recently, the most recent example that isn't funny at all, I know, I'll use this example, is, Donald Trump. I mean, that was the best. That was the best. Not just that he said, and it was recorded, actually recorded, you can grab a woman by the pussy if you're a celebrity, and she'll love it. And even if she doesn't, it's okay. And this horrendous thing that was said. And then he's got to put it in context. Donald goes with his mouth, what the fuck, how did I say that? What can I say? What can I say? Locker room talk. Okay, that was just locker room talk. Oh, okay, I understand now. Where was this locker room exactly? Was it in the security wing of a psychiatric hospital for sex offenders, perhaps? Then I understand it. That context I understand. The rest, I don't understand. Not at all. That's misusing context. Yeah, he really thought we'd all go, locker room talk. Yeah. The worst, I think, and the most difficult moral misuse of context is the idea, dropping an atomic bomb, never. That was good timing, wasn't it? That was only if there's a very small atomic bomb in the third road of solution space during a lecture, a talk. Okay. So we'll throw a bomb down, atomic bomb, no problem. We'd never do it, never. You should never do that. We will never do that, ever. But if the Japanese carrying on fighting to save lives, we'll drop 2. So to save lives, they dropped 2 atomic bombs, killed hundreds of thousands of Japanese. With this context, we had to do it because we brought the war to the end. A horrendous misuse of context, which we're constantly doing. Now, nevertheless, context for me does define civilization. What it means is, context means we can put things into perspective. We can live with ambivalence. We can live with bad and with good at the same time. I mean, you have to accept that a world has got bad and good in it. You only do this if you understand context. See now, the psychoanalyst Ron Britton, known as Dad, wrote a book on this. And it was fascinating what he said. As small children, why we learn to live in context is we learn that the breast that's given to us, the good breast, is the same breast that's taken away. A horrendous thought. At the beginning, as very small babies, take the breast, that's the good breast, oh, it's gone. That's the bad breast is the breast that's been taken away. Then you learn, and it's crushing, belongs to the same entity, mother. She gives the breast, she takes the breast away. And you have to live with that. You have to connect that in one thing. And people who can't do that are called fundamentalists. And that is the world we are now entering into, a world without context. Yeah? A life for a life, an eye for an eye, yeah? Manslaughter, no, not manslaughter. Don't talk to me about manslaughter, I can't stand it. No. Guilty, kill him. Yeah, but wait a minute, that was in self-defense. No. Kill him. Yeah, this child stole some bread. Oh, cut his hand off. But he was starving. Oh, no, please, I can't handle that. Cut his hand off. The world's simple. Steal, cut your hand off, yeah? Stone this woman. She killed her husband. Yeah, but she was being abused by him for years, every night. I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me that. Stone her. My world is black and white. It's simple. There's no context. Stone her. Yeah. These terrorists we've caught, God, they're only 17 years old. Their village was bombed by the Americans. Of course, they're reacting to that. No, God, stop this. Fucking kill them. Yeah, that's what it is. Fundamentalism, living without context. The way our world, the direction our world is going into. Yeah? Muslims, kill them. No. Christians, kill them. No. Europeans, run away. That was a Brexit joke. Thanks for laughing. Yeah. That's the world that we're going into. I mean, in my own personal life, I'm coming to the end now. It's okay. Don't worry, you'll get your train, don't worry. In my personal life, the biggest change of context, having a baby. Well, I didn't have a baby, my wife had a baby, but we had a baby together. Yeah, that is such a context change, I can't tell you. There we were, Romeo and Juliet, yeah? We are stars in our own film. And it's a love movie, it's a romantic comedy. Yeah, there we are, hand in hand, walking on the beach, going shopping. Oh, shall we get that? No, darling. Oh, lovely. Then we have a baby. Totally new concept, new context. We're not Romeo and Juliet anymore. We're carers. We're carers for someone who can't talk, can't walk, appears to be constantly in pain, and screams a lot. Okay, and the other thing is, we haven't slept for about 68 hours. We are no longer Romeo and Juliet. We are completely overworked hospital workers. No, anymore. I can't take this anymore. What's happened to my context, for fuck's sake? I hate this context. I don't want this context, yeah?
Why am I walking around my apartment 12 kilometers every night? Why? Why? I'm so tired, I've forgotten. Meh, meh. Oh yeah, that's why. The new context, shit, yeah. Yeah, totally new context. The good news is, and I say that because I realize I'm one of the oldest people in the room, I think, is that your children grow up and leave. New context. Romeo and Juliet, the sequel. There you are again. Hello, Doc. I know you, don't I? We used to have a relationship, didn't we? You were quite sexy as well, weren't you? I remember that, yes. So you go back to being Romeo and Juliet. I put on my tights. They're a bit tighter after all these years. I climbed up to the balcony. I needed a ladder. I mean, the back isn't what it was, so I'm climbing up the ladder. And afterwards, my performance wasn't quite what it used to be, but I was Romeo. What's that called? Romeo 2. Yeah. Romeo 2. And what was really, really beautiful about having a baby, and the biggest change of context for me, was I saw the whole world in a different way. It was fantastic. See, I was a big fan of Sartre, Dostoevsky, all these gloomy existentialists. Yeah, what does it mean? Yeah, we are going into the dark void. When I die, there is nothing. I die nothing. I have no soul. It's the end of me, of existence, of everything. I'm in the dark, the big bad dark. Then you have a baby, and you realize, oh, no, my life will go on after my death, through my children. I am part of a genetic chain. How wonderful is that? I won't die. No, not at all. My terrible spelling and my terrible game of badminton will go on for generations. I'm not going to die in the dark and my life just simply end. No, my habit of always forgetting birthdays is going to go on generation for generation for generation. My son will hand down to his daughter, and then to her daughter, and then to her daughter again, the ability to forget your keys every day. And that's a huge, tremendous comfort when I think, I'm always going to be in context. My life is in context. I'm part of a huge chain, my predecessors, and then everyone who will follow me. And I found my place in the universe. That is the end of the lecture for today. Before I close, I would like to, on behalf of Dr. Mark Britton, the Professor for Philosophy and Morals at Harvard University, I'd like to thank him. On his behalf, I'd like to thank you. And any emails, send them to him. I think we're in the time. I think I've just about finished. In this context, I just wanted to say, Nick, not to forget, Nadia, not to forget, when you think about this lecture, just remember, keep it in context. Thank you.